Hey everybody, welcome to day 38 of the 40-day Take Back Your Life video journey. Thinking right so that we can live right. I hope that you are prepared to have an amazing day as this comes out in the morning. Today, we're talking about don't bring a horse to a tank fight.
Our verse for today is Acts 1:8. You shall receive power when the Holy Spirit has come upon you, and you shall be witnesses to me in Jerusalem and in all Judea and Samaria and to the ends of the earth.
As we reach the end of our time together, Pastor's wanting to remind us not to bring the horse to a tank fight. You don't want to have the wrong tools or the wrong ideas as we get to the end of our journey. And he brings up the thought of the soldiers that were depicted in the movie 12 Strong, I believe it is. The soldiers were going into Afghanistan to take on Al-Qaeda, and they had to do it in a discreet manner. So they actually had to take horses to a tank fight. The interesting part about it is they didn't just have those horses. They had the B-52s and the complete backing of the United States military as they went in. And that's sort of what Pastor is wanting us to understand, is that we might be going into this situation feeling unprepared, feeling not quite ready to make the changes that we've talked about, but we have the backing of the most powerful being in the entire history of existence, and that is God. He has got our back, and He is waiting to assist us as soon as we put the laser on the target.
And that was the part that the pastor made the point of, is that they knew that whenever they put their laser on a target, that then the armies would come in, the military would come in, and they would have their back. They would take care of whatever was at that point.
Basically, they would unleash hell on that particular thing. And that's really what God is wanting to do for us. He wants to unleash heaven on our thoughts, on our words, on our actions, on the things that have held us back to this point. I mean, part of what we've talked about is the way that we think and the way that we speak to ourselves, and that we've got these habits that we have to break in order to be more positive, more fruitful moving forward. We have to speak to ourselves in a manner that brings an air of positivity, that brings an air of confidence of who God's made us, and we have to take that into action.
He also starts to talk about the fact that whenever you're doing something in faith, that the word is no longer try, it's trust. It's that you're going to trust that God has your back. You're going to trust that He's equipped you with the exact tools, the exact resources that you need to fulfill whatever it is that He has put in front of you. That way you know that you have the right equipment going into that situation.
It's an important thing to move from try to trust. We've always struggled with the word try at our house, not because it's a bad word, not because it's a problem, but we want ourselves and our children both to do more than just try. Trying is the first step. We do have to try. But eventually you've got to push past that. And the way that Pastor put it in today's reading is that we have to learn to trust. We have to trust God at who He says He is. And if He says He's going to take care of us, then He will take care of us. It may not seem the way that we want it to seem. It may seem different. It may seem uncomfortable. We may even question sometimes what's happening. But we have to have the trust of who God is and His nature within our souls in order to move to that next phase.
And one of the things with trying is whenever you try something, you're giving yourself an easy out. You're saying, well, I tried it, it just didn't work for me. Or I put forth the effort, I tried it, but did you really? Did you go to the point of completion? And, you know, whenever we talk about it, it's either you're going to or you're not going to. Because with trying, you're not really making a choice. And whenever you don't make a choice, you're fooling yourself because you're actually making a choice that you're not aware of. Because you have to make a choice to either do it or not do it. You have to trust that this is the path that you're supposed to be walking down. You don't just try all the different paths, then you end up living the same year 20 times. You start the new year saying, I'm going to do this. Nope, I'm going to try this. Nope, I'm going to do this. Whenever you actually make a decision and you do, then you're able to build on that. Instead of doing 20 years of the same year, you get to go year 1. And then I went a little deeper and then a little deeper. And so I went to year 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. So one step after another of decisive trust, saying God has put me down this path and I know that this is where he's taking me. You're able to turn back and look and see, oh, I see where he connected those dots.
If it was possible to do better on our own, we wouldn't need God. We would simply follow the golden rule and all would be fine. The problem is that we are fallen and bent towards sinful choices. There are none who seek God, no, not one. And that's from Romans 3, chapter 3, verses 10 through 12. It's not even so much whether we just try. It is that we trust that God has put us in this place to do a specific task, live out a specific calling. And, we have the choice to trust who he is to live it out, or he will find somebody else. And that's simply the way that it is. I mean, we talked about it a few days ago, that purpose has a shelf life, or potential has a shelf life. And if we don't use that potential, then it becomes someone else's potential. Part of the maturing process here is that we move past this beginning stage and move into that stage of trust. I hope that you will take the time to go back and look over some of your earlier work. One of the questions today talks about going back to week 3 when we crossed the barbed wire, and it says, in what ways, like Paul, not practicing what you would like to do yet? What are you still holding on to that's keeping you from trusting who God is and what he wants to do through you? Tomorrow we're going to do, on day 39, Fight the Fear. And so we'll be ready to wrap this thing up here in just a few days. And it's going to be good. It's going to be exciting. I hope that you have enjoyed the journey of beginning to think right so that we can live right.
And 2020 will be over in just 2 days. So you get to choose, what does 2021 look like?
We'll be back tomorrow. You guys have an amazing day tomorrow. We're going to learn to fight the fear together. So we'll see you then. Have an amazing day.